What if I told you that one of the most audacious criminals in American history pulled off over 60 robberies by literally dropping through the ceiling like a real-life Spider-Man, and now his incredible story is a major motion picture starring Channing Tatum? This is the unbelievable true story of Jeffrey Manchester, better known as the Roofman, and how Hollywood has brought his wild crime spree to the big screen. Picture this. It's the late 1990s, and McDonald's restaurants across the South are getting hit by what seems like an impossible thief. No broken windows, no forced doors, no alarms triggered. Employees would arrive to work and find cash registers emptied, safes cracked, and absolutely no trace of how anyone got inside. The FBI was baffled, local police were stumped, and fast food workers were terrified. What they didn't know was that above their heads, crawling through air conditioning ducts and dropping through ceiling tiles, was a man who had turned breaking and entering an art form. Jeffrey Manchester wasn't your typical criminal. Born and raised in North Carolina, he had served time for previous burglaries, but when he got out of prison, instead of going straight, he decided to perfect his craft. Manchester had discovered something that law enforcement hadn't considered. Most commercial buildings, especially fast food restaurants, had virtually no security monitoring their roofs or ceiling spaces. While businesses invested in door alarms, window sensors, and security cameras pointed at floor level, the space above the drop ceiling was like an invisible highway for someone clever enough to exploit it. His method was brilliantly simple, yet incredibly dangerous. Manchester would case potential targets during business hours, noting their layouts, security systems, and most importantly, their roof access points. He'd return, late at night, climb onto the roof using ladders, or by scaling nearby structures, then carefully remove roof tiles or find ventilation openings. From there, he'd navigate through the cramped dark space above the ceiling, moving like a phantom through insulation, wiring, and ductwork until he found the perfect spot to drop down into the restaurant. The physical demands were extraordinary. Manchester had to be in excellent shape to crawl through tight spaces, support his weight on ceiling joists, and lower himself silently into restaurants without triggering motion sensors. He carried specialized tools, worked in complete darkness, and had to memorize building layouts to avoid getting lost in the maze above. One wrong move could send him crashing through the ceiling, and the risk of electrocution from exposed wiring was constant. But Manchester's crimes weren't just about the money. There was an almost theatrical quality to his work. He would often prepare food for himself while in the restaurants, sometimes spending hours inside after completing the robbery. In some cases, he'd rearrange items or leave subtle signs of his presence, as if he was enjoying the psychological game with authorities. This behavior suggested someone who thrived on the challenge and the attention his crimes were generating. The investigation that eventually brought him down was massive. FBI agents had to completely rethink how they approached commercial burglaries. They started examining roof access points, studying building blueprints, and even crawling through ceiling spaces themselves to understand how Manchester was moving undetected. The breakthrough came when they realized the pattern. Manchester was hitting restaurants along major highway corridors, and he was getting better with each job. Manchester's downfall came in 2000 when he attempted to rob a restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina. This time, something went wrong. Whether it was improved security measures, bad timing, or simply the law of averages catching up with him, Manchester was finally caught. His arrest ended one of the most unusual crime sprees in modern American history, but his story was just beginning its journey into popular culture. Now, Hollywood has recognized the cinematic potential in Manchester's story. Director Derek Cianfrance, known for his intense character studies in films like Blue Valentine and The Place Beyond the Pines, is bringing the Roofman saga to life. Cianfrance has a reputation for finding the humanity in flawed characters, making him perfect for exploring what drove Manchester to such extreme criminal behavior. The script comes from Cianfrance himself, who has crafted a narrative that promises to dig deep into Manchester's psychology while delivering the thrills audiences expect from a heist film. But this isn't just about the crimes. San France is reportedly exploring themes of desperation, obsession, and the lengths people go to feel significant in an indifferent world. Channing Tatum takes on the challenging role of Geoffrey Manchester, marking another dramatic departure for the actor who has increasingly moved away from his action comedy origins. Tatum's casting suggests the film will balance the physical demands of Manchester's crimes with the emotional complexity of his character. Supporting cast members include Kirsten Dunst, bringing her considerable dramatic weight to what appears to be a significant role in Manchester's story. The Roofman represents more than just another true crime adaptation. In an era where audiences are fascinated by unconventional criminals and anti-heroes, Manchester's story offers something genuinely unique, a criminal whose methods were so unusual they seemed almost supernatural to those trying to catch him. This film promises to explore how one man's twisted ingenuity turned him into a legend, and how the line between criminal mastermind and desperate individual is often thinner than we imagine. The Roofman's ceiling-crawling crime spree may have ended over 2 decades ago, but his story is still unique. Overall, the movie and acting were good, but the story itself was sad. It was a lesson to know that what we do in and with our lives can truly make a deep impact on you, but an even deeper impact on those in your life. Mr. Manchester is scheduled for release from prison in 2036, and hopefully this movie can be a testament to someone else that may be traveling down the same road, to stop and switch directions and make better decisions for themselves and the people they love. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this latest film with Channing Tatum, and always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next movie.